Welcome to Selema's video tutorial on how to use ClimateStudio's Revit-to-Rhino exporter for daylight models. Using this plugin, you can export any Revit model into Rhino for most ClimateStudio workflows. You'll need Revit, Rhino, and ClimateStudio version 1.7 or higher. First, start Revit and open the project you want to export. Navigate to the ClimateStudio tab and click the Export Daylight Model button. I'll choose to export my entire model, but if you want to export only the visible elements, make sure to open the file in a 3D view. Then, adjust the view filter in Revit to only display what you would like to export. Press OK. The elements in my model are now grouped by their Revit category, with the most commonly exported categories pre-selected. You can update your export selections by clicking on the checkboxes in the first column. Let's take a look at my floors category. There are a total of 16 elements and 4 different subtypes of these elements that exist inside my model. I can click on the 3 dots in the C-Types column to view these subtypes. And I can click on the checkbox in the Explode Types column to explode these subtypes into individual Rhino layers. Let's come back to the selection on the Rhino side. We also have options to export rooms and export demolished. By default, Export Rooms is selected because this is what will define our occupied areas or simulation grids inside Rhino. Press the OK button. After the export has completed, save the file. Now let's open Rhino to a blank project. In order to import the model, navigate to one of the daylighting workflows. I'll use point-in-time luminance. Click on the import.csv file from Revit and select the file you just exported. And here's our model. Click on the Layers tab. As you can see, all of my Revit models categories are now Rhino layers. Because I chose to explode types for my floors category, I now have 4 additional sublayers. Looking at some of our windows, it's clear that the import process automatically converted the Revit glazing volumes into single plane meshes, which is required for the ClimateStudio simulation. Also check that all occupied areas have surface normals pointing up. Using the direction command, we can easily see that my arrows are pointing in the right direction. Back in the ClimateStudio Workflows tab, select your location. Then, follow the list down until you have filled out all of the input parameters. I'll leave my sky luminance distribution in the sky panel as the default values. In the materials input, reassign materials as needed. On import, IES LM83 standard materials were applied. I'll ignore luminaires and tubular daylighting devices for this tutorial and just add my occupied floor areas as our simulation grids. You can leave the default values as is. We are now ready to run the simulation. Press the Start button in the ClimateStudio Workflows tab. I'll quickly change my view to wireframe so that we can get a better view of our results. Thank you for watching and happy simulations!